Okay, let's go.
What's the difference between emergency use authorization and full approval? And is there a significant difference? The short answer is that there is not significant difference between the two. The vaccine development and clinical trial process for both are essentially the same. You can't receive either an approval or authorization without meeting rigorous scientific standards of safety, effectiveness, and manufacturing quality.
Imagine laying in a hospital bed severely sick with no known treatment for your condition. You can continue to suffer or agree to an experimental treatment with no clear results. That's the idea behind compassionate use drugs, the use of new unapproved drugs to treat seriously ill patients outside of clinical trials, when no other treatments are available. Remdesivir is one of those drugs being used now to treat COVID-19. The effectiveness, risks, and side effects of compassionate use drugs may not yet be known, and they have not been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. Unlike standard drugs, they may be used on patients at any stage of its clinical development.
When you have full approval, what has happened is that there's submission of additional data around all of those characteristics of safety, efficacy, and manufacturing quality. But ultimately, it is the same information, but in greater quantity that's being submitted for approval compared to authorization. Authorizations can occur in a public health emergency, such as the one that we're in now with the pandemic.
Now bringing in the CEO of a pharmaceutical company to the White House to herald the results of a possible treatment, remdesivir.
Really, people that are not doing well, people that are sick, people that have this horrible plague that's set into our country and that we're getting rid of, and we're going to be having some really incredible results. We have very promising studies coming out on the vaccines. We have promising studies coming out on therapeutics.
In the first widespread trial of the drug, it did shorten the length of the hospitalization stays for the virus, and it slightly decreased the mortality rate. But scientists say it's the first real hope that a drug can work against the virus.
We have to remember this is the very first one. It's a new drug being used for this. And it showed, I would call it a bright spot in the search just, 90 days after being notified of this, of a drug that looks like it's got very promising results.
And the company that makes it says it will donate its stockpile, which the Food and Drug Administration cleared for use on Friday.
We'll be working with the government to determine how best to distribute that within the United States. We'll be working very closely to get that to patients, working with FEMA, working with other parts of the government to make sure that we get that to the patients in need as quickly as possible, because there are patients out there that can benefit from this medicine today that are hospitalized, and we don't want any time to waste for that.
The White House trying to project a sense of hope.
Drug use has been used to treat HIV, cancer, and more recently COVID-19. Using these drugs is legal, but with tight restrictions. Patients who qualify must have serious or immediately life-threatening conditions. There must be no treatment available. They must be ineligible for clinical trials, and a doctor must agree and believe the benefits outweigh the risks. Drug companies who want to administer the drug must get approval by the FDA. Remdesivir, produced by Gilead, is available for compassionate use on individuals fighting coronavirus. The drug is believed to inhibit viral replication. Hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine have also been tested to treat certain cases of coronavirus under an emergency use authorization. Unlike remdesivir, these drugs have been approved by the FDA for other uses. They just haven't been certified as an approved treatment for COVID-19. Because of this, some studies can have deadly results.
You have to realize this may or may not work. The reason that this hasn't been approved yet by the FDA is because we don't know yet if it works and if it's safe. It's human nature to think I am going to be the exception. The drug they're giving me is going to be the one that fixes this. In movies, it's always like the million and one try is the one that works. They never show you the 999,000 other people who it didn't work for. So people just need to go in clear-eyed, and they also need to understand that this is all gathering data so that a month from now we can hopefully say, yeah, remdesivir really works, or wow, it didn't work as well as we had hoped.
Pharmacist. Doctor. Pharmacist. I'll go with the pharmacist.